Hello, everyone. It is Monday, and that means that it is time for another episode of our Monday Caregiver Check-in. Hope everyone's doing great here. We are getting ready. Oh, I see Margie is joining us. She's not joining us live today. She will be watching us with the rest of you online. And we have Laura Chromzack. If I can find her in here. Hey, Laura, could you comment that you're watching? Because it hasn't popped up that you're watching. Laura is a seasoned foster and adoptive parent, and she is a wealth of information, and we're excited to have her on here, helping us out, talk to you guys this week. Let me get set up here, you guys. We're getting everyone populated here, and everyone's kind of getting in. Let's see here. I'm trying to get myself situated. If you guys could only see like the setup and everything that goes into getting everything situated, it's crazy. All right, let's see here. Everyone doing good? I hope everyone's doing good. It's been a good week for me. We are going to be talking about how you're going to be handling your summers. Christina's on here. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. Good to see you, Christina. We're trying to get our guest, Laura Chromzack, in here, and she's going to be working with us. Let me get her invited in here. Okay. So she'll be joining us. She's going to try to get in from her laptop. If not, she's going to join in from her phone. But while she's trying to do that, let me go ahead and just say our normal spiel that we do at the beginning. This is our Monday Caregiver Check-in, everyone. This is going to be 45 minutes to an hour of time. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do it on Facebook Live. We do it on other venues sometimes, but definitely Facebook Live every week. We do this so that other foster and adoptive parents or professionals or whoever just have a chance to connect with each other, talk with each other, get some encouragement, support, ask questions. I'm going to be facilitating the conversation, but I'm hoping that you guys will be asking me questions and giving advice and doing different things so that I can just lead the conversation. This is your time. Let me tell you what this is not a time for. This is not a time for legal advice. It's not a time for medical advice. We're not going to give you any advice that derails or goes against what your agency or caseworkers or any other professionals in your life are telling you. This is just a way for us to get encouragement and to better help the children in our lives. So please don't sue us because that's not what we're about right now. So, hey, Felicia's on here too. Laura is getting on here. It says that it's adding her. So, Laura, if you are getting a button, you should be getting an invite that says, hey, do you want to be a guest with Darren or Transfiguring Adoption, it's going to say, and you're going to say, yes, I do. Hopefully that is happening because it says that it's adding you. What I want to hear from you guys right now is while we're getting ready, like I said, we're going to be talking about summertime. We're going to be talking about, I know it's April. We haven't even hit Easter yet. But what we're going to be talking about is what are we going to be doing to prepare for the summer? Because it seems like, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like with me, summer always just kind of hits. And then it's here, and I'm going, oh no, what are we going to do with the kids? I don't have any plans for the kids. I didn't plan well enough. And then all of a sudden it's in a mess and I'm scurrying, trying to get kids in programs or groups or different things like that. And so it's just a big mess. And so like, I'm just wondering what you guys are planning on doing. One thing I want to know about is hit the heart emoji if you're planning on traveling out of state this summer or out of city, or hit the wow emoji if you're planning on doing a staycation. Okay, so just hit those emojis and just get those things going then. Okay, hold on one second. Laura is having trouble getting in. All right, let's see. Christina says we're gonna send all of their kids to us to watch them for the summer. Well, man, that sounds like a great dream, a great try goal. Good try. Can we all do that? Can we just swap kids, like all of us? Like we're all getting to know each other on here, anyways. Can we just all swap kids around? That'd be awesome, actually. Um, who wants to take our kids for a little while? Here, Laura, I'm going to try to add you again here. We'll see what happens here. Try holding your phone horizontal to begin with and see if it'll add you. Margie wants to know if Christina will trade kids. Fantastic. That's really funny. So I missed all the emojis because I was helping with Laura, trying to see. But so hit those emojis again for me if you can. So if you're planning on doing a staycation, if you can hit the wow emoji. If you're planning on traveling out of country, out of state, or out of the city, or out of country, hit the heart emoji. That would be great to see those. I think we're planning on staying in. We're doing a staycation this year. So we will not be traveling anywhere. We will just be staying put. And I think that's good enough for us this year. We just moved to Florida. So we are going to enjoy what Florida has to offer around here. So I'm going to be hitting the wow emoji a bunch of times here. If you guys wouldn't mind sharing out that you are watching this so that the folks that are on your list can see that you're watching. That helps us to have a better conversation, and just helps things to go way better for this time. And we are going to hopefully be joined here by Laura Chromzack. She is a seasoned foster and adoptive parent, and she just has a lot of good insight, a lot of good ideas. And I'm hoping that we can just pick her brain this time on, as we're all talking about what to do for the summer and how we should plan for the summer. Yeah. So, Margie, how do you feel about staycation? Let's see if Laura can get joined in on here. It says that it's adding, Laura, but it's not. I'm not seeing you. Try closing out, Laura. Try closing out Facebook completely and coming back in. Okay, we'll see if we can get her to come back in here. Okay, that's the one bad part about Facebook, you guys. We have a little bit more better time on YouTube with getting guests to join in. Facebook still doesn't have all their quirks worked out exactly. One thing I did want to show you guys that I had here was I have this really cool thing called the Mini Fashion and Fun, and it is a little case. It's a little suitcase looking thing. And when you open it up, it's actually a magnetic set. It's got some different backgrounds on here. So I have like these little different backgrounds that I can use. And if anyone does anyone remember color forms? Do you guys remember like playing with color forms and those little stickums that you put on a background and you can make little stories, and they're almost like little paper dolls or something like that. This is kind of like that idea, only it's magnetic here. I just got a bunch of things on there. But so you have a background and you can just like fix up something. You can put all the little characters on there and stuff like that with a magnetic. The reason I want to show you this is I know that for summer, some people are going to be going out on trips, and kids are going to be in the car for a long time. This is really cool. We have found like just having this little magnetic thing. Now this one, I think the only thing that I don't like about it is it does have like, it does have smaller pieces to it. So the smaller pieces, not so good, because those are going to get, hey, Tina said she had color forms. Okay, here, I'm going to try to add Laura in again if I can. Let's see, Laura doesn't want to add you again. Let me try to do it again. Okay, there we go. Okay, but these are really cool. Yeah, Tina said that she remembers color forms. Color forms were the best, right? I played with those so much. Hey, Laura, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Operator error, sorry.
No
I was
worries.
turning my phone sideways, but I didn't have the like rotate your screen on.
Nice. Hey, we got it figured out though. That's good. Well, hey, I'm gonna finish telling them. So this is a really cool thing, though, you guys. I know it does might not seem like state of the art or anything like that, but if you're going on a trip, having this little magnetic set to be able to play kids to play in the back seat, it's amazing because then it immediately just gets folded up and it's contained and it snaps together. It's actually a little hard for me to get open. Whoops, we dropped Laura. That's not good. So it's actually really cool though, because you can just have this in the car and it's something that they can play with. Something really cool too that I found is Margie has taken like a cookie sheet, and then just an old cookie sheet that maybe you don't use anymore. And you take those little magnetic alphabet letters and you put those on there for like little kids that are learning their alphabet or like to play with those. That's a neat little car thing. Anyways, some little tricks that we use while we're on long car trips when our kids were smaller. But hey, Laura, how are you doing?
Hi. Good.
Good. Well, let me introduce Laura. Laura Chromzack is in Southern Illinois. She helps out with a support group in Southern Illinois. She is a seasoned foster and adoptive parent. Only you're just adoptive right now, right?
Yes, correct.
I noticed.
We
I
done.
noticed. Yes, yes.
We done.
So fantastic. So Laura has a lot of wealth. Like, there's a lot of things that we can pick her brain about. She usually has a lot of great ideas that I'm just like wow by. So I'm really excited. We're talking about again, you guys. We're talking about summer, and summer's coming up. And what our kids are usually needing more structure. They're needing routine. And I know for me, I'm not thinking summer right now. I'm thinking survival. I'm just thinking, hey, can I make it through today? Can I can I make it through this week? And so summer is so far away. But if we don't start thinking about it now, it's going to get away from us. And those YMCA programs or different camps that you want to get your kids into are going to be full. And then you're going to be scurrying around trying to figure out what to do. So, um, Laura, what do
Yes.
you guys do for the summer?
Well, I try to find a few vacation Bible schools. If they feed us, we will come. I mean, a meal. I don't care if it's lunch. I don't care if it's dinner. Like something I don't have to cook for a week. That's fabulous.
That's awesome. So
But
what,
I have to spread those out. I can't do, I can't do them back to back. We really have to be choosy.
so one thing, and I want to hear from everyone on this. Like, what do you feel like? Let me see some comments rolling here, you guys. And again, you guys, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing out that you're watching this, so that people, well, we get more conversation, more people going here. I really appreciate Felicia and Christina watching here. I've missed quite a few people that have joined in. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. What do you guys find are the biggest issues with summer, with helping our kids to be successful during the summer? What are some big things that you see? And there is a little bit of a lag, and people have to have time to type. So, Laura, I'm going to put you on the spot. What are some things that you feel like are foster and adoptive generally? What are some issues that we need to be watching for during the summer?
Not over scheduling and trying to do too much. There's so many great things to do in the summer, especially if you're in an area where you have four seasons and you want to get out there and, do all the swimming and the, whatever the outdoorsy things. But yeah, exactly, Christina. Structure, sticking to the plan. Like my kids still need a daily routine. My kids can't vary so much off of bedtime, which I mean, unfortunately, is like 7:30 at night. In the summer, that makes it really hard. But they still get up at the same time in the morning. I mean, they'll be up at 6:30,
Right.
and they cannot go. They just can't go 15, 16 hours. They just can't handle that. So I have to be really regulated in their schedule, even though they fight it.
Right, and that's a big thing too, right? I mean, like, let me see everyone like hit those emoji icons like crazy. Like, let's do the laugh icon. are we the bad? Like, I feel like I'm the bad guy during the summer because I'm putting my kids to bed at their normal bedtime, which is 8 o'clock for our youngest, and people are. Yeah, I'm seeing the laugh icons going like crazy. But I feel like I'm the bad guy because I'm doing that. But I know that if they don't get the sleep, they're not gonna be successful the next day because they just can't hack it. They
Right.
can't go without having that sleep. So what do you ever feel like the bad guy with that, Laura? Like, hey, all the other kids are staying up till like midnight.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be so bad if my kids would actually sleep in.
Right,
But sleeping into them is like 6:45. Gee,
right.
thanks. And 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 that makes it really hard. And like one of mine needs more sleep than the others, and she would sleep in if her little brother would let her.
Right, right. Don't you love that? Well,
Yeah, exactly.
and I remember sometimes of us living in Tennessee. I remember the neighborhood kids all coming, wanting our kids to go outside because they were playing. I forget what it was called. It was like Ghost in the Graveyard or something. And so, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, it has to be dark outside, and it gets dark later in the summer. Everyone knows. So, like, they
Mhm.
wanted our kids to stay up super late to play this game, and we're just like, no, like, you can't. Like, I think with one child, we said, well, we'll try it, and it was like an epic fail. So we're just like, yeah, no, no, we're
Yeah.
done. And we were not the popular neighborhood parents after that because we were the parents that made their kids go to bed by 8 o'clock during the summer. But
Yeah.
I feel like you have to stick to your guns with some of it so that your kids can succeed. What do you
Yeah,
like?
absolutely.
We're talking about structure. So what are we talking about when we're talking about structure? Like, what does structure look like? What are some structure things in the summer? Like, what does that look like during
Well,
the
they
day?
kind of
Because we're
set
talking
their
about bedtime.
during the day. Well, they kind of set their own structure because like I said, they won't sleep in.
Right.
And it gets really hot. Especially, I mean, around here, and I know now you guys are going to experience Florida in the summer, and it gets really hot, and you can't really do much outside anyway, and so we kind of come inside, and we'll take a cool down break, and I'll let them watch a movie or something, but I have to give them those coming down moments because they can't regulate themselves that way. And
Hmm.
that's where I was talking about with the vacation Bible school. I mean, we can go 4 or 5 days straight going hard, but the weekend, then we don't do anything. Like we can't plan anything for that weekend. They're going to need those 2 days to reset,
Right.
so that we don't just run into a wall the rest of the summer. So, there was last summer we ran into the situation where we had different friends going to different ones, and oh, this one sounds really cool and this one sounds really neat, but we could only do one VBS per week, and we had to have a week off, and if it went late, like if it was a 6 to 8 p.m., maybe, but like 6 to 9 or 7 to 9, I was like, there's no way, because by the time we get back home it'll be 10 o'clock,
Right.
and you guys will be done for.
Right. And I think not only wanting the kids to be successful, we have to figure out what works for us too, because if we don't have something as parents that's working, if we're not in good shape, the kids aren't going to be in good shape because they're going to like everything's going to get on our every last loving nerve, and then we're just
Yeah, and
not
they
going to be.
find it.
They will find it, and we're just not going to be happy people to work around. Um, so what? So we're talking about structure and routine. Do you go like? Does your family? Do you guys? So we have like for school. There's obviously like it's a very regiment. Like you got to get up at this time. You got to be at school at this time. You're going to go to this class at this time.
Right.
How much do you let your family relax during the summer? Like do you fill that routine in with something else, or do you relax it, or what happens for you guys at home?
We are pretty relaxed in the summertime. I and thankfully my kids don't have an issue with like retention or academic delays. praise God for that, because I don't know that I could handle, behaviors and delays. I just, that's, yeah. But so I don't worry too much about that. We do play games. We like board games. I like strategy games where they're thinking and solving problems. But I do let them just kind of chill out and watch movies. Especially, like I said, when it gets 100 plus here and it's humid, like 99% humidity, not enough to rain,
Right.
but you can't, it's miserable outside. And so there's not a lot that they can do outside as much as they want to. So early morning, before it gets too hot, we come in for the real heat of the day. And then later on in the afternoon, evening, we do as much as we can. But we do schedule, we like to go to Six Flags. And so, I try to make sure that whatever activity we have planned, we try to have buffer zones, like the day before we don't really do anything, and maybe even the day after we don't do anything.
Right.
They're just not capable of going, just going because they don't reset themselves.
Right. Now, let's talk about that. So, like, again, we had already talked about people that were going on trips, and there are some people that were going on trips, and there's some people that are going out of state or out of city that are going on trips. So
Hmm.
Margie and I, we like, before we moved to Florida, we enjoyed coming down here and going on vacation. We've gone to a lot of places on vacation with our kids, and it's been with um, we've done it. We started out probably our first trip we ever took with our kids. We didn't know what we know now, and we came. I remember coming back home, and we both said, "Never. We'll never take another vacation again. We're stuck at home for the rest of the time the kids are at home. We're never doing that again." And we've gotten to it, like, over the years now, where we love traveling with our kids, and we have a ton of fun. But there are things that we have to watch out for, like you're talking about, um, being go 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 go, because I know with Margie and I, when we go somewhere, we're usually going somewhere we've never been before. So we want to see everything that we can, because we might not
Yeah.
be there again. So we want to experience everything. So usually Margie and I, when we go by ourselves, come back from a vacation needing a day to recoup because we're so tired, because we wore ourselves out. And then we've had to learn, though, that with our kids, like you're talking about, they're not able to. They need adults to come beside them and help regulate them. So they need adults to come and say, okay, this is the time to be quiet, and this is the time we're going to relax, and this is, like, hey, I want to do it. No, we're not going to do that right now. We're gonna be bored. That's all we're gonna do
Right.
right now, is we're gonna be bored. What? Like,
Hmm.
yes, our bodies need some time to be bored. Um, and they need that. Are there any other what are some other things that you guys do when you go to Six Flags or do different things like that? Is there anything that you guys do to help your kids be successful during the trips?
They've been pretty good at Six Flags. Now, luckily, my husband's a nurse and I work from home. Um, and so we have flexibility. And my husband doesn't like crowds anyway. And so we really try to avoid going on like a Saturday or a Sunday if we can help it. So at Six Flags, it's not like Disney World or
Mm-hmm.
Universal where, there's high crowd time, but you can usually go Monday through Friday during the day and not have any issues. Now we try to get there early because my kids wake up early. And so we might as well get up and get out, and be
Right.
there when the park opens. But, about 5:30, even though the park's open till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, we still have a 2 hour drive home. They're wore out. So we usually leave the park about between 5:30 and 6. So we're just
Right.
making it shorter, and then hopefully during that 2 hour drive, they can decompress a little bit, and, they'll be calmed down enough during that time that we could just like throw them in the shower and put them to bed.
Now, I'm curious, with everyone that's watching, I'm curious, for those people that aren't doing a staycation, I'm curious about what some of the travel destinations are. But Laura, I agree with you with that. That's one thing that we've had to learn to do, especially with going to amusement parks or anywhere where there's going to be higher crowds and a lot of sensory stuff. Is we've had to learn, yes, we could stay till close and experience everything, but we're not going to. Like,
Right.
and it's what Margie and I talk about on here all the time. It's lowering the bar of expectation, because if I go into the situation expecting less, Not that I'm not expecting a good time or anything. Like, I'm not saying that you're expecting a horrible situation, but just expecting lower expectations than what I'm putting up in my foster or adoptive dad head. Just
Right.
expecting less, and then anything that goes above that, I can say, "Wow, that's cake. That's like the icing on the cake. That's amazing that we did that much." Um, but
Right.
yeah, I think there are times that we've actually gone to an amusement park, and luckily we live next to Universal Studios, so we've gone to the park before, been there for like literally 2 hours, and have said, "Yep, time to go home." Like, just because people just weren't hacking it that day, and we're like, it's not going to happen, and it's um, I, the worst story. I'm going to try not to give away identity because I didn't ask the kiddo if I could share this. Uh, we did have one kiddo that we went on a trip to Universal. This is when we lived in Tennessee, so we had to drive 10 hours to get down here. It was a bigger deal because we wanted to do more because we weren't going to be here all the time. We saw a meltdown coming. We saw some different things coming. And Margie and I actually looked at each other and said, we need to leave now. But we both were kind of like, we want to do one more ride. We just want to do one more ride. But we both knew, like, we need to leave now. For like, the trip went great. We had a great day, like, phenomenal day. We kept talking about how great the day was, and I think that's why we're kind of on this euphoria, and we're like, one more ride, one more ride,
Yeah.
and we did it. And long story short, kiddo ended up kind of running away, and we didn't know where they were at, and it totally like took that perfect day and just so that's one
Yeah.
thing that we've learned is just you kind of start to know your family and know their limits, and you can't keep going. Like, you have to know when to say, even though you want to keep going and keep having fun, you need to know, like, when your kids and yourself are done, and you just need to leave and call it, even if it was just 2 hours,
And you need
because
to
that's
leave before you're done because if you're trying to leave when you're done, it's not pretty.
no, it's not. No, it's not. And and the thing is we've all been there. We've all been like the yelling, angry parent. Like, shoot fire. I see families that aren't foster adopted. At least I assume they're not in the parks all the time. And I'm sitting there just going, like, Margie and I'll be walking through by ourselves, and I'm like, ha ha, that's not us. We don't have to, like, I can almost get. I mean, just the way, like, going by looks and how they resemble their parents, I'm guessing their biological family. And yeah, it's you
Well, and I think that a lot. I mean, my kids are, I've got the doors all shut. So our first vacation with the kids, we went to Florida for Christmas and we had zero plans. Like, we booked a resort. It was beach, it was all beach all the time. We didn't plan anything else. I mean, we're there over Christmas, like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. The worst thing was that I had to go to Walmart on Christmas Eve. That is not a good
that's
idea
not good. That's not
because
fun.
we had no food,
That is so not fun.
No, it was horrible. But we had no plans, and it was actually the best Christmas we've ever had, I think. And that was the first real vacation, like overnight vacation with our little kids. So next year we are planning a Disney cruise, and I'm a I'm not as concerned about the cruise because we don't really have to plan anything there either. But I'm in Disney groups where, because we do want to take them to Disney at some point.
Hmm.
But I see like the overwhelm with biological parents because they're spending a truckload of money.
Hmm.
I had a foster family say we could have bought a fully loaded Kia off the lot for what we dropped at Disney World, and we had a miserable time because everybody lost it.
Right.
And when you've got kids with sensory issues, a magical place like Disney can be very overwhelming. And I look at these groups and all these things that everybody's scheduled to the minute, and I'm like, there's absolutely no way that we could be scheduled to the minute. When we did take one of our foster kiddos to Florida with us, and we did 3 days at Disney, I think, with him. And regardless, foster or bio, we got up early and went to the park early, and then we came home in the afternoon and took a nap. and then we went back later. And that was really the best thing for us to do. And we were brand new foster. I mean, like, we were brand new licensed. We got him like in February, and we went on this trip in like June.
Right.
So we had no clue what we were getting into.
No, and it's I mean, and I think it can be frustrating because I mean we've definitely had those, and I think we all want to give our kids those great, because other kids at school and stuff like that are getting have, and quite honestly, we're hearing other families going on vacations. We're like, I want those memories, I want that. But I think, to Laura, what you're saying is too, like, what we hear, what Margie and I hear a lot, especially down in this area because we're by Disney, is we hear so many people. Disney just raised their rates on their annual passes, maybe even the park tickets. I'm not sure. A
I
lot of
think both
changes.
went up. Yeah.
A lot of changes going at the parks. It seems like they've been in the news a lot. But Margie and I were talking the other day. We're like, you spend so much money on this vacation that it
Yeah.
sets it up for failure because you all of a sudden have this expectation that you want this perfect vacation. Like, you want everything has to go right. Like, if your little girl's going to meet a
Well, you
Disney
want your
princess,
money's worth.
right,
Yeah, you
exactly.
want
That's
your
what I'm
money's
saying. You've paid all this money for it. Your daughter better poop glitter by the time she gets done meeting with Elsa, like something, like, so, like, and it's not, and the thing is nothing's going to ever turn out perfect. So you're going to get frustrated and agitated, and then you're losing your expectation, and you get frustrated, and it hurts your vacation. So I feel like,
worth.
again, if anyone has any questions about, especially going to Universal Studios with foster and adoptive families, Margie and I'd be glad to field those questions because we're at the parks all the time. Um, but
We're gonna be there, Darren. Remember, we're gonna be in the Orlando area the week of July 4th.
come on
We're
down. We're in the
we've
parks.
got a resort in Claremont.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
yeah, let's hang. Let's do it.
yeah, totally. Because
Hey, if anyone on
we're
here,
like,
we'll just make a huge thing of it. If anyone watching right now, if you guys just all want to meet at the parks, we'll just have a transfiguring adoption group. That'd be fun.
that would
Um,
be fun.
no, totally would. I'd do it. Um, but yeah, like Margie and I've had to learn lots of things in the parks, which is a lot. It's harder in Universal to leave or to take naps. You can do it, and especially if you're staying at a resort or nearby, you can do it. But we found lots of places in the park that no one goes to or they don't know about it, and so you can actually just go and sit there with your kids for a while. And maybe you're not sleeping, but you're getting water, you're getting some food, you're resting up again, and it's boring. That's what you need.
Yeah,
You just need some boring, quiet time, and
right.
just so that you
And
can
I
keep
think like
going.
Disney is like glitter at every corner. Like everything has something.
Now, I will say that I didn't know about this. They do have people that are trained to handle kiddos with PTSD or that are going to have meltdowns or different trauma behaviors. And
I've heard that.
if they see your child having problems, they will run up to you. Like the people at kiosks and stuff are trained to give the kids
Mhm.
stickers or trying to get them out of the meltdown stage. If they
Yeah.
can't, they will radio a specialist, like a counselor
Hmm.
or something like that, to come in, and they will actually work with your child to get them out of that funk, so that
Do
you're
you
not
think we should schedule them ahead of time?
just say, hey, we have a group coming. We're going to need the counselor just to follow. Thank you.
Right. Just follow us around.
Hey, I'm not ignoring everyone. I'm missing my comments here. Felicia says that they learned the same lesson and had to be okay with going home early to salvage good memories. We took a kid to Baltimore Aquarium, and he was so overwhelmed that he bolted to the harbor and he couldn't swim. That's scary. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so true. Like, I'm the worst one because I want to get the most out of my day, and I want to make the summer vacation amazing. I want to make the trip, and I'm as much a kid as the rest of the kids, so I want to do one more ride or one more thing or one more show. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's just better that you go home early and they have the good memories. Um,
Right.
Natasha says
Well,
that. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, even just like local things, we had last year, AMC theaters put on like a $4 movie, and it was an older movie. I mean, they're on Netflix or you already own them, but you're in the movie theater, and for $4 you get in, and they gave like the kids pack with a little bit of popcorn and soda and like the fruit snacks. But then there was another, our civic center here, somebody had sponsored like a movie thing, and so sometimes they were back to back, and there were, like I said, there were a lot of kids. The library does a lot of fabulous things here, but I can't run my kids from one event to one event to one event. They will lose it in public, and I know this.
Right. No, and I think that's a real concern. Like, because I know, and again, you know what? Some of them losing it in public. I mean, let's be honest. Some of it is our embarrassment, and then we have to handle that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a therapeutic
Right.
parent, if our kid loses their cookies and they're just going nuts, fine. If I'm like at my most comfortable and I don't care what other people think, I'm like, whatever. Okay, you know what? If you're gonna scream there, we're gonna scream for a while. Okay,
Right.
like,
Right.
but it embarrasses me, and that makes me frustrated and agitated, and then I want out of there because I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, we have a question. I think we have one of these questions that's really. Oh, I lost it here. So Christina says, how does everyone handle hotel rooms with kids with past sexual trauma? We found it to be difficult. She wants to know if anyone has any tips. I wanted to make sure I got to that one because
I
that
got
is a huge
nothing,
thing.
Christina.
I mean, we have to deal with this constantly. It's not possible for everyone. Well, I don't know. Like with Airbnb, it's a little bit more possible. Is start looking outside the box and don't look at the hotel rooms as much, and possibly start looking at doing homes if you can do homes. Margie and I, we were some of those people early on in our marriage. We did a timeshare. I know those
Yeah.
aren't popular and a lot of people don't like. We like them now because we can book. We don't have it anymore. But when our kids were needed that because of past trauma, and we had different
Mhm.
kids and stuff in our home with past trauma, we could get like a 3-bedroom condo and we could put people in rooms as they needed to be, and we knew people would be safe, and we could situate ourselves so that we knew if people were going in and out of places. um,
Right. Yeah,
it,
we have a timeshare as well, and that's what we do. I mean, that's what we booked for Christmas, and that's what we are booking for July when we're in. I think it's Claremont. It's like 20 miles outside of Orlando.
mhm.
We didn't want to be inside Orlando necessarily, and
Right.
we're gonna spend at least a day or two at the Gulf probably, but yeah, we prefer the resorts. They tend to be more spread out, not as cramped. We get to cook our own food. We've got more space.
Mhm.
So we love it. And I do know that like Airbnb and VRBO, I've got friends
Yeah.
who use those regularly, but also eBay, you can get somebody's timeshare rental on eBay.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like Wyndham. I know you guys were with
Yeah.
Wyndham. We stayed at a Wyndham over Christmas, and people were telling us, "Yeah, I just go to eBay and I get the week for,
Mhm.
so many $100 or whatever." But it's a resort and it's really nice, and there's a lot of things to do. You can always check out the resort beforehand. That's
Right.
also nice about the resort, is that you don't have to leave. The
Mhm.
one that we stayed at, they had games and miniature golf and things at the resort that the kids wanted to stay and do as
Right.
well. So it wasn't like we had to just always be gone. So it was kind of a staycation because you're home and you can get up and walk around the resort and do different things.
Right. And I know like different beaches will have like cottages and different things like that that you can rent. And that's an option
Mhm.
too. I will know, like I'll speak for, see, I don't know, have much experience with Disney on this. And I don't know if people are, that's usually like the high end. So people usually aren't thinking Disney, but from what I've seen, and maybe it's not true because we just haven't gone to Disney a whole lot. I'd love for someone to tell me differently, or give me some input on this. With the resort things, I see family suites, but it's more like you have, I don't know, what is it, like where the beds come out of the wall and stuff like, it's like bunk beds and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they
So it's
have the
not,
like the Murphy beds or the pull
yeah, the
down
Murphy
beds.
beds. Yeah, so
For
it's not
would
gonna be great for kids with sexual trauma and stuff
No.
like that. The Universal does have family suites, and now they do have, I think they have separate sleeping areas for kids. I think they might have, it might almost be like a 3-bedroom setup. Don't quote me on that. I think they have one coming out where it is.
Mhm.
So if you're a family of
I
six, that's not going to help you. But if you're a family of
Right.
like four or maybe five, depending on the kid's trauma and
Mhm.
different things like that, it might be able to help you. They are building, Universal is building a new resort that's like, it's super economy, I guess you call it. Like, it's basically like how the airlines kind of went to their, they wanted to make things super economy. So it was like you could pay for a really cheap airline flight. And like basically you get a seat and that's it. Like you don't get dinner, you don't get a drink, you don't get anything. You don't even get to
Right.
use the bathroom. You just get to sit there. Like it's all like this new resort that they're building. It looks really nice, I will say, but it's like the basics. Like it looks
Mhm.
like the quality is there. It's all universal quality, but it's the basics. You get a bed and you get a phone, like you get a TV. That's it. Like a
Right.
shower, you know. But I don't know if those will be. I heard rumors that maybe like $65 a night, $69 a night. So I don't know if like you're doing your
Pretty
dream
good.
vacation like at Universal, maybe you have to get a couple rooms to accommodate all that. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. What we found at Disney is they've got, well, and I'm not sure because we have an older biological child. She'll be 19 in June. And so I told her, because I would like to take the kids to Disney, to the parks. My husband's not even excited about it because he also has PTSD.
Right.
He threat assessed all crowds. So, he's not excited about it. I want to go. I may just leave him at home. But I told
You're like,
Elena
I
she would
want my
have to go
Minnie
with
Mouse
us.
ears.
That's right. I'll make my own. But I told Elena that she would have to go with us because if we can't get to adjoining rooms, then we're gonna have to have adults everywhere, and then we'll have like one adult per child
Right.
because we have three littles, and then three because you can't be outnumbered. I think that's also important.
Right.
You
Well,
you almost need to have a 1-to-1
then let me
ratio if you've
take
got kids with issues.
Christina. Christina, who asked the question, just said that they're a family of eight, so it makes it difficult.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that makes it really difficult. You have to go resort that way. You just really have to.
and I think again, if you don't want to do the parks, which I totally, there's so many things that you can do to prepare your family for the parks. I mean, there
Mhm.
are like I will say that we have told people that want to go to Disney or Universal and they want that dream vacation. We've just told them, yeah, you're not going this year. And they've kind of been disappointed and they're like, why? And we're like, well, I mean, everything you're telling me from your family, they're just not like you have a runner. Like why don't
Right.
do it? Like don't
Don't do
or
it.
you have a child that has sensory processing and they can't handle it at
Mhm.
all right now. Like don't
Right.
do it. But there are other things that
Start
you can
them at
do.
something smaller and cheaper. Six Flags.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it is like I think things that you're talking about, Laura, where you can get away. Like I think where you could like go to the beach, and then if you had to go back to the cottage, and just spend the
Yeah.
rest of the day at the cottage, um,
Mhm.
or if there's something local that you can do, and you're just going out, and I know it's not as much fun, but you're going out, and then you're coming back home, and just spending time at home. It's not as fun, and I totally get that. But it doesn't mean that it's always going to be that way. It just means this summer, that's what it
Yeah.
is. That's all
Right.
it means. And it's a baby step, like trying to work your kids, or it might be spending the summer at
Mhm.
home. If they have rad, it might be working with them so that the attachment disorder isn't as great next summer, so that you can do different things next summer. It just might mean that you have
Mhm.
stuff to work on this summer, and that stinks, but it might be
Right.
reality.
Well, and I mean, my kid looks around and she sees people her own age that are doing things like going to church camp. And she feels like she's really totally ready. But I'm like, I can't go because I'm out of town for my business that weekend when she's gone, or I'm just getting back in and they're leaving. But I'm like, you're not going to be 5 hours away, and I'm not going to let them deal with that. They're
Right,
unprepared,
right,
you know. But thankfully, there's another camp here. We have Touch of Nature, and they've got some great camps for kids with some issues and some special needs. And they have, they say they have counselors and staff that are trained. And if if all hell breaks loose, she's only 30 minutes away.
Right.
I
Right.
can go
Exactly.
get her. So that's fine. But, I was like, we'll try this first because we've never really done any overnight, and definitely not multiple. So, and then maybe next summer, I will go to camp as a chaperone so that I am there and, just kind of watching. But if something happens, I'm there to deal with it.
Something else that I'm thinking of, and Natasha is sharing too. She says Legoland has very cool sleeping areas separated by a curtain, so no closed door panic, but it's still some separation and personal space. That's cool. I didn't actually know that.
I
And
didn't know
actually,
that.
Legoland just they just added on to Legoland. There's a whole area that is modeled after the movie. So if you guys have kiddos that are into Legos, that might be something to go do. I want to go do it. We just don't have the money. It's only money, right? Um,
Right.
so yeah, so Margie was saying too that we've had kids in the past do special needs camps at Touch of Nature. That was really great. So there's some. I mean, I think if you look around your local area too, there might be like some special needs, some trauma informed things that you can do. Um,
Mhm.
you might be doing that instead of like the bigger vacations. But again, it doesn't mean I hate it when people, because I feel like I was there. Like I don't like it when people feel like they're never going to get to do like the big family vacation, or like they're having to bury that dream. Like I don't feel like you have to bury it. I think you just
Mhm.
have to like honestly say it might not happen right now or next year. We'll see what it's like in
Right.
3 years. And I feel
Right.
like that.
Well,
Yeah.
that yeah, that makes sense because if you think back to your personality puzzle from Pride,
Right.
I may have an 8-year-old, but emotionally, she may only be 3.
Right.
And, am I going to let a 3-year-old go to church camp with a bunch of kids and a couple of adults? No.
Right. Right.
you know so that's hard. That's really hard because when I look at her, I see an 8-year-old, and she's pretty mature, and usually she's together. But when it comes down to it, all bets are off. And and so I have to remember that side of her as well.
And I think what we're talking about here, when what I'm getting from everyone too, is like there's really like I do feel like there's a connection with how much you're going to tie your finances up with this big family vacation that you're going to do in the summer.
Hmm.
And if the more money, the more skin that you're putting in the game, um, I think we have to realize that our kids might not appreciate that, because they haven't been from past places where maybe their family appreciated things, or appreciated, like, I don't know how to put it, like, uh, their family might not have considered hard, like working hard as a
Right.
quality that was important in their family. So therefore they weren't raised with that. So they don't get that, hey, I spent like $1,000 for you to be at Disney today. Like you should be grateful. Well, no, they don't get that. Like they don't get that.
No.
And then you're frustrated because how come you're not grateful that we're having a horrible time? Like this doesn't upset you? Like, no, it doesn't upset them. They don't get it. Like, so
Right.
I think, again, I'm all for, if people are coming to Universal Studios, give us, if we're available and we're at the park. That would be so much. I've really tried to get that together. Like I really want, um, to just have a big transfiguring adoption party at Universal Studios. I
Hmm.
know we could make it happen and it would be fun.
Did you see that the
Felicia's,
Universal tickets are like buy 2 days and get three free now?
oh
They
yeah.
were 2 and 2, but now they're 2 and 3.
And if I can put out a commercial for Universal Studios right now. No, actually, I think it expired. Everyone missed out. They were doing season passes. You could get up to 6 months free in addition to the year.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, that was the reason why we weren't going to get passes this year, and we did because we got 18 months for the price of 12.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
and we also live next to the park, so I mean it's easier for us. But Felicia says that her kids are thrilled playing in the backyard, but often I negate that wanting more for them when I should have just let them have their fun. So yeah, I think that's right. Like I think we want. I
Yeah.
think I think they don't know what else is out there, and they're just content. And I think it's funny because I think our kids might be content sometimes, and we're not because we want more for them, and we see like, and again, I think it's
Because
like,
we know it's out there. We know what's
yeah.
going on.
Well, and I think we want those memories, right? Like we want, or maybe we didn't get to have that dream vacation. Maybe we didn't get to go to Disney when we were a kid, and we're
I
like,
was
hey,
28.
so you're like, I think we want to give more for our kids, and like I think we can also like since our children might have come from difficult pasts. I think
Mhm.
we want to like somehow be like, hey, I can't make up for all that past stuff that happened, but I can take you to this vacation.
Right.
And it doesn't, I don't think
Yeah.
it, in our heads, we're thinking we're doing something and we're going to see this kid go, what? And it's just not, it's not their thing. It's not, we lose something in translation there. And then but it's our fault, I think. Not all the time, but I mean, I think a lot of times we're putting that expectation there and that's why it falls. Um,
Yeah, and we forget that we don't have to entertain them 100% of the time, too. If Felicia's right, like when we're really busy, my kids really do just want a day to play in the backyard with our neighborhood kids, and just play. They don't want to go to this event and go to this activity and have this practice and, do this and do that. They don't want that either.
right.
So being realistic about what they want to do versus what we want for them, I think is important.
Yeah, and Natasha says, plus the more money, the more pressure on the kiddo. I guess their kiddo was worried that he would ruin it, and we spent so much. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's. I think there's always time to have those vacations, and there's always time. Um, I think it's just planning, and it's just a process. Like this whole journey is messy, and it's just not going to look like everyone else's. We might not be taking the same vacations and stuff everyone else is. We
Yeah.
are at 8:50, you guys. I didn't even realize that. Man, get me talking about summer vacation, and I'll just keep going. So go ahead, and if you guys have questions that we didn't address, but you want us to talk about them later, please get those in now. If you have ideas or topics that you want us to address, I am working on we tried to have Leanne Goldstein on here um, to talk about RAD and give you guys some time with her as a professional to talk about what we do at that and tips and ideas with that. We also, 2 weeks from now, have Betsy Crockett, who is an adult adoptee, is going to be on here talking with us. So I'd love for you guys to be thinking for 2 weeks from now, like what you want to ask her, because she is very open and willing to talk and share with you guys tips and suggestions on how to raise kids and what they're thinking and feeling. So please be thinking about that. I will tell you right now that I've been, what, we have April 8th. We have till April 15th. Our Sweet Dreams Nightlight Drive is going on until April 15th. So if you know a business or individuals that would love to help foster and adoptive families, get in touch with me or go to our website at transfiguringadoption.com. Check out, there's a link over on the side that says Sweet Dreams Nightlight Drive, and that'll tell you how to get us new nightlight donations so that we can get those to families who have kids that have suffered from sexual abuse. Last thing I'll tell you about is head over to our website at transfiguringadoption.com. Head over to the store, and there is a section that says custom design items or something to that nature, custom items. We have all sorts of cool t-shirts and different things that are over there. If you are having fun with us, it'd be nice I have my shirt on right now, like my not all scars are lightning shaped shirt. Head over there, check out our cool shirts. We actually have some Easter designs over there and some different things that you can spread your love of transfiguring adoption to everyone around you. They're great quality. If you have kiddos with sensory processing disorders and stuff like that, these shirts are super soft. They have polyester in them as well as cotton. So I don't know what that does, but it makes it super soft. So all of our kids with sensory stuff seem to love them. So yeah, go check that out and help us keep our services going. Laura, did you have anything that you wanted to shout out about or tell people about? before we sign off?
No, I don't think I do. Well, if you're in Southern Illinois, we have a lot of system of care projects going on that are dealing specifically with children and trauma, and we are really spreading the word and getting providers and caregivers and professionals trained and trauma informed. So I'm super excited about what Southern Illinois has going. If you happen to be around here. I just think they're doing great things. We've got a lot of projects going on, so keep your eye out for Southern Illinois because it's happening.
It's happening. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Laura, thank you so much for joining us. Again, Laura is very seasoned as a foster parent and an adoptive parent, so I'm glad that she was able to take some time out from her kiddos and her husband to join us for an hour. Thank you so much, everyone. It was good to see new faces and old faces on here and just talk with everyone. Again, let us know if you have any questions or if you have any topics that you want us to discuss for next week. Otherwise, we are going to be here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends to come out because the more people we have watching, the more conversation we have, and the more things that we learn, because with more people, we learn more. So this is Darren Fink with Transfiguring Adoption. Appreciate all of you. I know you're doing a better job than you think you're doing. I know you're doing a fantastic job and you're helping kids succeed. Thank you so much. You haven't been told enough today how awesome you are. So thank you so much. Appreciate you all. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Thanks, Laura. Bye.
Bye.